The policies that the government has been implementing are policies that do not find favor with the general mass of our people, and that the mass of the people of this country have been systematically impoverished.
Hello guys, my name is KB. Please subscribe to SRC TV for amazing news in Ghana, KNUST, and everywhere around the world. Bye. SRC TV. Uye.
This is silent noise.
In Africa, the sudden rise of coups is becoming very alarming. Coups orchestrated in countries such as Niger, Chad, Mali, Guinea, Gabon have all sprung up due to various issues. Issues such as political and economic instabilities, issues such as perpetuated scandals and corruptions, the likes of inadequate health facilities have all led to reasons why coup sadly occurred in those countries. Anyway guys, my name is Alexander Nyaku. You can just call me SRC, and on today's segment of Time with SRC, I'll be reading an article from one of the best debaters in Africa, Terku Terkpertey, as he writes on coups that visit the African belt and the looming instability that stares Ghana in the face. Now, the coup belt in West Africa looks like this, with yellow representing coups that occurred in 2021, dark blue representing coups that occurred in 2022, and light blue representing coups that occurred in 2023. Now, one of Africa's finest debaters, Terku Terkpertey, has written a masterpiece on political instability in Ghana. Now, he has captioned this: "When coups visit the belt, the looming instability that stares Ghana in the face." Now, I'm going to read this article. However, I'll leave the link at the comment section. You can easily click on that to also get access to that. But before I do that, a little bit on his persona. Now, Master Terku Terkpertey is a biological science graduate from KNUST Ghana. He served as the president of the Biological Student Association and of course KNUST Debate Society. In fact, he's also a 2-time Pan-African University Debate Championship finalist. So guys, you can imagine the veracity of political or geopolitical compositions is going to spill on his article. Guys, you can't miss this. And of course, he was also a semi-finalist in the 2022 World University Debate Championship. And in fact, he has a lot more to his name. Now I'm going to read this article he brought out. Now this is how he begins. "When hell is brought onto innocent people over a sustained period without any cause to redress, anarchy begins to exude the fragrance of a safe and viable home." I told you guys that, Charlie, the veracity of components you are going to find in this piece, Charlie. It's here now, my freestyle. No, when hell is brought onto innocent people over a sustained period without any cause to redress, anarchy begins to exude the fragrance of a safe and viable home. I do not wish to be the bearer of bad news in this piece, but just like Paul in the Bible, sometimes letters that warn of the doom that stares in the face ought to be written, not from a place of political correctness, but one of brutal honesty that speaks truth beyond power. Charlie, I like the English. In recent years, the term coup belt has been used as a modern geopolitical concept and coinage to describe the regions of West Africa, Central Africa, and Sahel that have built the unpleasant reputation of producing military coups. Over the past 3 years, we've seen the admission of Niger, Chad, Mali, Guinea, Sudan, Burkina Faso, and Gabon into the belt. Now, the first observation to note here is that Ghana is not special beyond any of these countries. So yes, when you look at most of our neighboring countries, they've been hit hard with these coup issues, and I mean, he's talking about the fact that Ghana, we are not special, right? Anything can happen. Now, I know our long celebrated democratic stability has the potential to blind us to this fact and draw us into an unrealistic bubble that makes us feel immune to any of these extreme political consequences of instability. But from the example cited above, when hell is brought onto innocent people over a sustained period without any cause to redress, anarchy begins to exude the fragrance of a safe and viable home. Now, dating back to the dead ghost syndrome of 2015 through the Fix the Country protest of 2021, where protesters were assaulted, illegally detained, to the Occupy Julobi House protest of 2023, where the police, despite not securing an injunction, meted out actions that distorted the protest. The government of Ghana is gradually building a governance profile that will soon replicate the scenes in Niger, Mali, Sudan, etc. So it looks like Andrews is very concerned about how the military, or how the police actually, went about the whole Occupy Julobi House, right? Okay. Now, we have become a state that is not just intolerant to critique, but outrageously insensitive to protest and the abuse of human rights that go on during these protests, worryingly, under the administration of a president what am I reading? Now, let me take my time. We have become a state that is not just intolerant to critique, but outrageously insensitive to protest and the abuse of human rights that go on during these protests, worryingly, under the administration of a president who prides himself in his protest efforts of the past.
The policies that the government has been implementing are policies that do not find favor with the general mass of our people, and that the mass of the people of this country have been systematically impoverished during the period of Rawlings's rule. It is not a point of view that has found very much favor in the parts of the world from where you come from, who have been pouring out an endless stream of how so many things wonderful were going on in Ghana.
After massive illegal police arrest and distortion on the first day of the Occupy Julobi House protest, the front pages of major newspapers were filled with everything you can think of except coverage of the protest. The nonchalance and insensitive being shoved on our faces has become unbearably harsh. Now, I wonder if the sitting president would have ever had the courage and belief to protest under an administration such as this. For me and for many, the fear is that 2024 may be too far away, but I hope it does not. It is true that coups have visited our West African sub-region in recent years. However, for many of the countries affected, the visits were not unannounced. In Gabon, protesters were killed and wounded for protesting in 2021. The country turned into one which silenced citizens amidst their suffering. Now, before the coup happened, Niger saw their protests suppressed in 2021 and 2022 before the coup in 2023. Sudan was on as protesters were killed in 2019 and 2020 before the 2021 coup. Now, Burkina Faso also had massive police resistance to protest in 2020 and 2021 before the coup in 2022. Wow. So this is like Andrews the historian, he's giving us all the histories, all the facts that we need to hear. Now, countless announcements and hints from protests that were either suppressed or massively distorted were ignored until the last straws left the sack bag of the Camille. Wow, this one I don't see before, Charlie, this English. Ironically, all governments overthrown by coups today use state security institutions to suppress civilian protests and deny civilians the room to exercise their constitutionally mandated rights. In the end, these same security agencies, usually the military, turn around and seize power from these insensitive governments. Wow. Now, what this communicates in the loudest voices you could ever think of is that these security agencies are usually not believers in the suppression and resistance they are made to subject civilians to during such protests. They ultimately do it out of their oath to follow orders until they muster the courage to stand with the people who deserve their allegiance. Now, ultimately, if servicemen in various security institutions were given the least opportunity to equally demonstrate their grievances peacefully just as civilians do, leadership and society would understand why a media friend of mine told me servicemen and women in the military and other security agencies always urge them to go on with their criticisms because they are cruelly bound to silence by virtue of their profession. Essentially, the people insensitive governments use to intimidate innocent civilians are the very people who become nauseated by their deeds and hoist their government. You get it? So at the end of the day, he's talking about the military services, the police services. You know, they don't do these demonstrations because, I mean, per their work they are doing, you know, obviously they are made to shut up, right? And at the end of the day, when you harbor all these grievances and all these outcries for a longer period of time, that is what makes the military attempt the coup, because at that period they can't demonstrate and hence they will come after you. Interesting. Now, it is no surprise that a very popular line in one of the Methodist hymnals that says, "Hey Charlie, Andrew the Methodist, hey Charlie, you might be biblical." What's it? It's no surprise that a very popular line in one of the Methodist hymnals that says, I need no other argument, I need no other plea, it is enough. Okay. Communicates the crucial fact that eventually there comes a point where as a collective we all recognize that it is enough. This one is like Samuel Kelvin Sa, enough is enough. So as I write this, it is written to listen. Ghana is not immune to coups. Ghana is not immune to coups. And our political history prior to the Fourth Republic speaks for itself. It is time for politicians, celebrities, civil society organizations, religious leaders, traditional leaders, businessmen, international organizations, and everyone who cares about sustaining the Ghanaian democracy to speak up and secure redress, accountability, and progress that would retain trust in the system among citizens. This is the tough conversation no one wants to have, and that is why I choose to have it. The country is currently in an economically volatile state. This is not the time to create a breeding ground for political instability. The national pot won't survive that combination. This peace can be considered many things. But ultimately, it is the public rant of a youth who is frightened by where the country is headed. I know many share this fear, and so it is time our leaders realize that they are edging closer to the point of no return, and the window to make that return is getting smaller as the nonchalance of government rises. I hope they listen to the public cry and do the right thing. We may not have long before the coups visit, before we become the newest members of the belt. Wow, so the writer, Terku Terkpertey, is a former student of KNSU Ruiz BSc Biological Sciences and a 2023 Doha Debaters Ambassador. So yes, as you heard from Andrews, we are not far away from coups, and he urges government to act swiftly. I mean, he does not believe that this is the period where political instability should also spearhead its indelible imprint upon the lives of, Ghanaians, because already the country is in a state of shambles, with the youth crying out loud to be heard due to unemployment and various factors. And so, looking at the recent political instability crises that are happening here and there, if actions are not taken, what we wouldn't want to happen is most likely to happen. This is a piece from Terku Terkpertey, as I said, one of Africa's best debaters you can get so far. And yeah, this is his masterpiece for us. Guys, hope you enjoyed this piece. If you enjoyed this and you're new here, kindly hit the subscription button for me. And guys, till we meet again, hopefully there is no coup. Now, even if there's coup, we will shoot. To meet again is bye for now.